Hi, and welcome back to our journey with Alice. As we've been chatting in the previous videos, there is always this moment that is often dismissed because it often feels too fleeting or not particularly interesting. And yet, there's always something very particular about it when it crosses our path. And if we are paying attention, we feel that shift. In Alice in Wonderland, this moment comes as a white rabbit. But let me ask you something. Have you ever questioned why Alice follows a rabbit? And not just any type of rabbit, but a white rabbit? Most people don't. But actually, our subconscious minds did. That's why I want to share with you today how a single scene, right at the very start of Alice's journey, carries the most powerful subliminal symbols that have been quietly speaking to our spirits all along. Why a rabbit? What is Carroll wanting to convey to his readers by having Alice meet and chase after the white rabbit? The folklore across several cultures consider the rabbit as a liminal creature. It lives both above and below ground. It darts in and out of sight. It's vulnerable, yet it's cunning. It makes it the perfect threshold guardian. And the rabbit is seen as one who doesn't block the threshold to the path, but rather entices us to cross it. The rabbit doesn't command Alice to follow. He simply runs with purpose in front of her, and by doing so, awakens her curiosity. He is the embodiment of mystery, appearing suddenly, acting peculiarly, carrying something sacred in his hand, and leading her away from the mundane. And yet, let's ask again, why a white rabbit? Well, the color white in symbolism is loaded with meanings that transcend culture and time. The first symbolic aspect is innocence and purity. Alice is a child, uncorrupted on the threshold of deeper knowing, and the white rabbit represents pure invitation, not tainted by manipulation or deceit. The second symbolic aspect of the white rabbit is spiritual light and revelation. White often symbolizes divine light or the presence of spirit. The white rabbit is not just a character, he's a signal. He glows with the energy of something otherworldly. The third symbolic aspect with the white rabbit is initiation and alchemy. This is where Carroll hints a little bit to alchemy. In alchemical traditions, white, the albedo stage, comes after black, the negro stage. In simplest terms, this is where there is dissolution, and then there is purification. It marks the phase of purification and clarity before full transformation happens. Alice follows the white rabbit not just into Wonderland, but into her own process of inner transformation. And the last symbolic aspect of the white rabbit is the unexpected. In a world of brown rabbits and gray realities, a white rabbit would stand out. It is a call to notice something that doesn't belong in the everyday world, a shimmering anomaly that whispers, something new is about to begin. With all of this considered, we realize that this is no ordinary rabbit. He is dressed in a bright red coat, holding a golden pocket watch, muttering to himself that he is late for something very important. He doesn't stop to explain. He doesn't even turn to Alice. He merely moves. And the white rabbit moves urgently, instinctively, and irreversibly. It is actually his motion that pulls Alice and us out of the ordinary and into the unraveling mystery. Each part of the white rabbit is a message from the spirit world to the awakening self. So let's take a moment and look at them. The red coat. This isn't about fashion. This is about frequency. Red is the color of blood and the root chakra. It is also the color associated with instinct, survival, and primal knowing. The white rabbit wears red not to announce his power, but to provoke yours. It is meant to activate your foundational energy. It is meant to send a pulse through the very body that says, hey, wake up, it's time. The red coat is the color of the doorway between safety and risk. It's the color of life asking, do you dare go? Next, let's take a look at the pocket watch as a symbol or a message. This is not about time being measured in minutes. This is about spiritual timing. It is all about that peculiar sense that something is either right on time or nearly lost forever. The rabbit doesn't pause. He doesn't ask permission because he is already in motion. This is the essence of the call to the awaken. When the white rabbit checks his watch, it is not merely to measure minutes. It is a sacred symbol, timeless and alive, reminding us that spiritual invitations never arrive on our timeline. They don't consult our calendars. They don't wait for things to settle down. They come when the universe aligns, not when fear loosens its grip, not when we feel fully prepared. We oftentimes say, this isn't the right time. But what we really mean is, I'm afraid to do this, and I'm afraid to do what is asked of me. I don't know what I'll become if I say yes, and I need a little more time to stay safe and comfortable in what I know. Yet the deeper truth rings quietly beneath the noise, and that truth is that we already have been called into the transformation in our own ascension. Not just in this moment alone, but in the many whispers that have followed us throughout our whole life. We have this ache in our hearts that won't go away. We remember daydreams that visit when the world grows quiet. And then, of course, there's always the repeated signs, messages, and nudges from above. All of these are the watch ticking, not with time, but with destiny. So when the white rabbit looks down at his watch, he's not really worried that he's late. He is reminding us that the cosmic portal is open and they're opening now. But this is not about rushing. It's about responding. It's not asking us to be ready. It's asking us to be awake. Oh, and one more thing. It's not about responding and being awake with a full and certain plan. Quite the contrary. It's about responding and being awake with the power and willingness to use our hearts and intuition. It is about responding with our hearts, not our minds. The pocket watch says, this moment is not asking us to be ready. It's just really asking us to be awake, because time, in the spiritual sense, is not linear. It's alive. It circles you. It taps your shoulder. It does not knock politely. It bursts through the illusion of comfort with urgency, and it tells you something deep within is stirring, and delay is no longer your luxury. I'm late is not about poor time management. It is the whisper for your spirit saying, you have been asleep for too long. You have been waiting for the world to give you a sign for too long. And it's whispering that the sign we have been waiting for all these years has always been within us all along. This is where our white rabbit takes us. The rabbit takes us to the place where we finally open our eyes, where our heart finally beats to the beat, and our spirit can do nothing else but respond to the fact that it is time. Hey, thanks so much for joining me here, because Alice is not just a story. It is a parable of the human journey. It reads about the moment that the dream cracks open, and from here, the choice is offered. Will we chase that strange, that sacred, that unseen? Or will we return to watching our sister read the most boring book ever and pretend that we didn't see the rabbit at all? Join me in the next video as we follow along with Alice past locked doors and opened bottles, because that's where things are going to get a little bit more interesting.